What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. You become a prize whenever great betting content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Guys, we're in the middle of a massive slate here, 8-gamer. I didn't have that rich, deep of a betting card, but Bojan, we bet the over on his 2.5 threes, and he came to fruition. Hit 5 of them in the process. Could have taken the over on his points, but didn't do that. That would have been too convenient. Him and Zach LaVine are just wagons right now. We just got to choo-choo. That's a train. That's different than a wagon, but you know what I'm getting at. It's good stuff all the way around, just like $5 at DraftKings to win 200. Here's the thing. You bet on anything over at DraftKings.com, and you're going to get yourself $200. No strings attached. Take advantage of that. Insurance, whatever you want to call it. It is fantastic what they have going at DraftKings. Sign up in the video description box below. I'll have a play for you guys coming up a little bit later, but I want to get to the picks here. We've got a 6-gamer on tap for Thursday. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's get to the picks. Starting our day off with a lopsided affair, the Thunder take on the Sixers in Philly. Boy Meets World's fan. No, you definitely know. OKC massive dogs on the money line here. 9.5. That's the prevailing number we have here. Wherever you look, this is going to be the going rate for a healthy Sixers team at home against average teams going forward. So we better get used to it. I mean, Embiid, Harden, Maxey, all back, all playing substantial minutes. That's going to be a problem for the NBA going forward. They're 6th in adjusted net rating this season, and considering all the injuries that have plagued their big three and the time that they've all missed, we can only expect that number to rise even higher into the top 5, perhaps very, very shortly as they get more games, more time together under their belts. And this is just a prime OKC. Let's rest everybody, even though the NBA is probably going to be pissed about its spot. That's what we've come accustomed to this season. I'm not saying it for sure happens. I'm just saying it's not happening, if you get my drift. So a perspective play on the Sixers isn't the worst idea I've ever heard. Plus, who on OKC is going to come remotely close to stopping Embiid? Anyone? Eugene Amarui started their last game as OKC had grown accustomed to small ball in recent matchups, starting Kenrich Williams at the 5 multiple times. And folks, Kenrich Williams is 6'7", so that is really not an option in this spot. So what does this all mean, Basil? Well, books are going to shoot his props to the moon, that being Embiid, and with the blowout risk, it's probably not worth it to go in any format that direction other than fantasy, but laying just 9 here? Oh, I'm all aboard that wagon, leading to an early lock. Yeah, you heard me. Lock button. No doubt in my mind that, hey, maybe SGA and Josh Giddey can go bonkers and keep it competitive. They just did it in Miami. Maybe they could do it here. Sure, maybe. But I'll take my chances and stand by my decision. The rare early lock, as I have this projected around 12, I fully expect this number to close in double digits. Lock it in as soon as you hear this. -9 going to Philly. Well, this is appointment viewing. The red-hot Boston Celtics on the second leg of a back-to-back, heading to Brooklyn to face on the even redder, hotter Nets. Boston's 29-12, Brooklyn's 27-13. Boston's first in adjusted net rating, Brooklyn's 4th. Boston's got a ridiculous tandem there. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, pretty good at basketball. Brooklyn's got a ridiculous tandem in Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons as of now. Yeah, you heard me. I threw him in the mix as Kevin Durant will be on the shelf for upwards of a month with an MCL sprain in his right knee. Despite that, though, this should be an absolute doozy of a game. And we're looking at getting 3.5 on the net side at home. Ooh, interesting. Look, I've been a huge proponent of this Celtics team, dating all the way back to last season at the trade deadline when I thought people were crazy for asking Brown to be separated from Tatum. They promptly flipped that script, went bonkers, made their way to the NBA Finals. Nobody's talked about it since. They have the best team in basketball since the start of this season, and it's pretty hard to argue that. But no Marcus Smart potentially here for a 3rd straight game. It's a pretty important role player, if you ask me, and I'm not disregarding perhaps the best pure scorer in basketball, with Kevin Durant being gone, but there's some serious shooting on the Brooklyn side that will be thrust into some minutes coming off the bench and has a possibility of keeping this one close. Smart, he's an underappreciated piece, but they have Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White on that side. Interesting enough, but looking at these net shooters again, we're talking TJ Warren, who's worked his way up to health, now playing a lot more minutes. Seth Curry, Joe Harris, if he can get his shit together one time at some point this season. That's some serious 3-point potential surrounding Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie, he's going to be relied upon heavily going forward to keep the ship afloat. And we know his complete disdain for this Celtics organization. And I'm not one for too many motivational angles. If you've listened to my program enough, you know it rarely, if ever, shows up in the analysis. But Kyrie feels like the type of vindictive personality who might spike a little bit of extra usage trying to shove it in Boston's eye hole. So just saying. What I am especially saying, though, if I bet anything here, I'll probably snag the 3.5 for the home dog. I'll call it a lean for now, but I was really tempted to make this a like because, one, Jason Tatum got dinged up about 20 minutes before I started recording this. They're playing New Orleans. They just started blowing him out here, but maybe he sits. And two, the reason he might sit, the Nets aren't on a second leg of the back-to-back, whereas the Celtics are. Just saying, Brooklyn plus 3.5, that's where I'm leaning. The Bucks on the second leg of a back-to-back themselves here against the Heat, which means be on the lookout for potential rest candidates. And Grayson Allen got hurt, didn't even see what it was, just saw the news report that he got dinged up. Didn't see it personally, so I can't speak to the severity of it, but pretty sure on a back-to-back, more than likely he's not playing. So maybe a chance some ancillary pieces stand out from a prop perspective. No props out yet. But holy cannoli, there's not much else to say or do with this spot at the moment because the Heat are the walking wounded, the walking dead. Back when that was a good show. Tyler Hero out, Kyle Lowry out, Caleb Martin out, Duncan Robinson out, Omer Yurtseven out, Nikola Jovic out, Dwayne Dedmon and his Theragun throwing ass questionable. There's a lot of moving pieces here is what I'm getting at. Although the prime two pieces, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo from the Heat side should be good to go here. English is tough. Still, seeing as it's a back-to-back for the Bucks, I am nervous they sit some folks, and that creates potential early value by betting Miami money line as soon as this number drops. As soon as you see it, because it says NA on the side of your screen, soon as it drops, I am thinking about firing up Miami money line because you never know. Could get some early value. As long as that number is factoring in Giannis and Drew to play, and then we pray they randomly get ruled out later because that would be great for your bet. That's the lean I have here in South Beach. Heat on the money line. Not a whole lot else to talk about until there's more information. Hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist or in the comment section below. I'll let you know what I think. And you know what I think now? I think now is a great opportunity to go back and revisit that Philadelphia -9. Now, I do have one play coming up a little bit later that I like even more, but there's an opportunity to get yourself $200 over at DraftKings when you sign up in the video description box below. Don't pass this up. You get $200, no questions asked, no strings attached. Do it right now. All you have to do is put $5 on that Philadelphia -9 number, and you have access to $200. Done. Period. End of story. I'm not making this up. If you haven't signed up for DraftKings, I know a lot of you have. This is the time. This is the opportunity. Let's get back to the picks. The Hornets take on the Raptors up in Canada for part 2, the sequel. No injuries for Toronto, but Charlotte will be without Kelly Oubre Jr. and Gordon Hayward yet again. And as I just said, these teams played each other on Tuesday. We bet the Raptors -7. The Raptors easily cover. Do we simply run it back and call it a day here? Why, yes, we do. Sort of a rare day where most of my interest lies with point spreads in a lot of these games. And while I'm normally a huge proponent of having some type of injury news that could sway in your favor when taking big swings at these numbers, because otherwise they're almost always ultra efficient, because it's not like books don't understand the same things we do when it comes to injury news. Here's what I'm getting at. Sometimes, not always, my read of a team may differ from that of spreadsheets, and these ultra efficient numbers I might disagree with because my model does things a little bit differently. That's why you see different numbers at different books at times. And part of my valuation here and why I disagree so firmly with the books is what Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre's absences mean to this team as a whole. Let's take this exact matchup that we just saw on Tuesday, all right? How many players did we see make an appearance for Charlotte? I'll tell you because that's kind of my job here. 9, which is hilarious because that's one fewer than we saw from Toronto. They notoriously have a super tight rotation, but they had 10 rotational pieces for Toronto. But not all minutes are created equal off the bench. And while Precious Achiuwa and Chris Boucher come off the bench for Toronto and have proven throughout their time there that they can make a major impact in low teens minutes offensively, They certainly do not have that with the Hornets. They have no firepower whatsoever coming off the bench. That's because Cody Martin, Dennis Smith Jr., Mark Williams, and JT Thor, those were their only appearing bench players, and they're all terrible, horrible, no good, very bad offensive basketball players. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. Cody Martin, 4th percentile offensive talent on dunksandthrees.com this season. Dennis Smith Jr., good defensively, 30th percentile offensively. Mark Williams, 21st percentile. And JT Thor, who I don't even know who that is, my goodness, 5th percentile. Like, holy hell, people. Charlotte's going to have to make their starters put up Nick Nurse-like minutes to be competitive in a lot of these spots until Oubre and Hayward return. Otherwise, we just keep jamming against Ball and Rozier shooting it out of the gym. That's what you're going up against. Because while they're extremely talented offensively, Ball and Rozier, both are as bad as it gets on the defensive end. So here we go again. Run it back. Let's run it back. Raptors, behind Siakam and Van Vliet and company, are my favorite play of the day at this point in time. Could not disagree with the books any more than what this number is. 7.5. I have this around 9.5. And sure, you could get burned. You could absolutely get burned by Rozier and Ball going completely nuts. We just saw it. Both of them played awesome last game. Didn't matter. Double-digit loss. Think it happens again here against Toronto. LeBron versus Luka? I'm interested. It's the Mavericks and the Lakers kicking off the late-night tandem of games. And starting with Dallas, Luka was sensational in the second half of a losing effort to the Clippers. A pretty bad losing effort, if you ask me. It's sort of sad, honestly, how the man clearly has zero help on par with talents like Giannis, who has Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Jokic, who has a healthy Jamal Murray. Maybe he can keep a couple of these other pieces coming along for the ride. I'm just hoping the Mavs go big at the deadline because Christian Wood and Spencer Dinwiddie are not serviceable Robins to Luka's Batman. They're more like Aquamans. That's not a compliment. But speaking of absolutely no help, LeBron James has virtually none of it in the purple and gold. We kind of know that. Sure, Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant, and Russell Westbrook have started putting together nice outings of late for the Lakers, but come on. Just 3-point dogs at home against Luka. Yet another favorite on this card that I have serious interest in backing here. But friends, I'm not going to personally guarantee something that I don't have the best odds. Here's what I'm getting at. I like laying the 3 with Dallas. That's great. But Luka Doncic is going to triple-double against these lousy Lakers and their terrible defense. This is an up-tempo game. This is a lock. On the season, Doncic averages 34, 9, and 9. But with the Lakers second in pace, 20th in adjusted defensive rating, which is in free fall since Anthony Davis was out when they were closer to the top 10. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. I am locking this in. Just to give you some context, 53.5 is the largest PRA we've seen. Not Jokic. Giannis has had a couple that have gotten close, but 53.5 points plus rebounds plus assists is the biggest number I've personally seen this season. And yet I'm going to lock in something that's a little bit better. And that is because you're getting usually plus 150, plus 200. I mean, we're seeing some shorter odds on Luka to triple-double of late, but this is a slam dunk still. You're seeing minus 125 on the over of 8.5 and 9.5 rebounds and assists, respectively, here for Luka. That should cue you in. Give me the entire ensemble, package it nicely. He's got 55 triple-doubles on his career. Think he makes it 56 against the Lakers. Luka Doncic, triple-doubles, lock button. Can't believe I just said that. Oh boy, we've got 3 locks already on the day. Now we're at the last game of the night. Surely we're going out big, right? No, we're not. It's Cleveland, it's Portland, and I don't have a whole lot of interest in this game. We could probably just move right along, but I was trying to find something for the people here. I think the prop market, Donovan Mitchell going up against Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, you can generally find some decent numbers. He's been around 28.5 here, 29.5 in some of these more up-tempo games. We don't have a total out for this one. I think it's just very, very difficult to figure out what to do in this spot. We've seen Jared Allen. He was sick. He had a rumbly in his tumbly. He didn't come back into that game. We have to wait on that news. We have to be looking at some other issues as far as what Portland has going. Nurkic, does he, just continue playing basketball the way that he has here of late? I don't really know if he's going to be closing constantly like he has the last couple. He's just been putting up Nurk bomb after Nurk bomb. But that makes Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons props look really, really bad. And we know the interior there, if you have a healthy Jared Allen alongside Evan Mobley as the Twin Towers down there, not my favorite defense to be targeting on planet Earth. So what do I like here? Not a whole lot. Usually when that means like a 50-50 type spot, I'll just lean on the side that's getting plus money. Give me the home dog here. Portland gets one of those to finish out our night. But trust me, I gave you enough hot fire to last you a long time on a long winter's night. So you're ready to rock. Let's get at it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays for Thursday's card. I'm always looking, always watching. Look at the baby, look at the baby. Yeah, I ran back the old school quote. Sue me, I can do what I want, just like you can do what you want, but I would especially recommend getting a lovely $200 over at DraftKings right now when you bet $5. Check out that Philly -9. I also love that 7.5 on the Toronto one. Now that I've covered that for you too. Either one of those will do. Bet $5 on it. Win yourself $200. No strings attached. Pretty good stuff. But I'll be back for Friday to round out the week. A-Town will be with you over the weekend. But until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.